Hello and welcome to the show. Today I am going to be revisiting an old racing game. Now I have done videos on this quite a while ago. This is Enthusia. It is a PS2 era racing game, and as you can see from the visuals, it feels quite Gran Turismo-y. Truth is, this is probably one of the best racing games you may well have never heard of. In some regards, this is one of my favourite racing games of all time because it does things differently. It does things very differently. I love the way the career progression works in this one. It's really quite fascinating. It's also got a very, very interesting car list, which is always fun. So if we just go and have a look through, it's not the easiest list to navigate, shall we say? It's not, it's not the largest car list in the world, but it does have some interesting stuff. So you have the beginner cars. This is what you all start off with. So you've got micros. You've got a fun cargo. It doesn't feel like much fun goes on in the fun cargo, if I'm honest with you. You've got things like a Polo, there's a Steamer, and that doesn't even know how much, it's got so much power the game doesn't even know. It doesn't know how much power or torque there is. Sad thing is that's lighter than my Audi. There we go. You've also got the little K cars. You've got things like the Cappuccino, you've got the Honda Beat going on. You've got an MGB, you've got a Mazda Cosmo, naturally, and then we start getting into, I think the City Turbo might be the last of the starting cars, and then you start getting into all sorts of interesting stuff. So we've got the Aristo Vertex, there is Imprezas, there is, an Alpha GT, for example. We're just going to keep flicking through. There's a smart car, why not? The Bath 1000, which is awesome. There's the world's happiest race car, the little Sprite. What are you? An Ist. You're a, I don't even know what you are. There's a Pajero. Is that the Evo? Oh, that's just the Pajero short. Things like the Di Tommaso, the Pantera's here. We have, of course, the legendary Saxo. We'll get to that in a little bit. But there's all sorts of really quite... I mean, so the expected cars, things like RX-7s and 350Zs and... I say expected car, maybe not quite so much that one. But then there's some other peculiar oddballs along the way. There's like a Touareg in here. The GTV6. Oh, no, sorry, the GTV with a V6, sorry. There's also, where's it gone? I mean, you've got some American cars in here. Silvia's as expected. The Celica. I'm pretty sure like the Tommy Kyra cars, like the ZZ2 and all of those sort of stuff. XJR is here. Tamora, which is always a fun inclusion to see, as the Integra are starting with. Where has it gone? I have an Evo. Let's say there's an Evo 3, which is really rare to see. How have I lost my Evo? Has anybody seen a bright yellow Evo anywhere? I could have sworn I had an Evo somewhere. Oh, okay, I did miss it. I'm just blind. Yes, there is an Evo 3. Really, really unusual to see an Evo 3 in a game. 6 everywhere. 4s sometimes. After 6 is all of those. 7, 8, 9, 10s, all of them will be in games. But earlier than the 4 is very rare to see. There's also a Daihatsu store. You get the idea of the car list. It's quite fun. It's quite fun. It's quite different. There's some interesting stuff around the place. Now we're going to stick with the Integra for now, because the way this game works, there is no car shop. You don't earn currency. You can't buy any vehicles in the game. What you do is you go racing for them. So we're going to join a race and go and have a look and see what. So I'm quite far through the game. I'm struggling to kind of get into the last tier and to be able to quite fight in the last tier yet. I was going to go to this one here. So front wheel drive limited battle. Now you'll notice there's numbers underneath each of the pictures. This denotes the difficulty of each of these races. The higher the number, the tougher the race is going to be, and this is based on the car that you're driving. So the game is expecting my Integra to be quite fast around here. Now this actually gives us quite a decent amount of points for coming first. I'm expected to win in this one, okay? So theoretically speaking, I have the fastest car here. Now you'll see all these little pictures. If they're sort of like blued out over here, that means I already have the car. So this lot are the car. These 3 are the cars we're racing for, if you like, to try and win, so to speak. So we're going to jump into this race. We're going to get going. Basically, if we come in the top 4, I believe it is, in the race, you will win, or potentially there's a chance to win one of the cars. You get like a lucky dip of the vehicles that we're racing. And we hope for an interesting car. You can win nothing. There is always the possibility of winning nothing here. But I really like the whole... I say random. Like, your progression through this game is going to be different. Oh, I've got to turn my TV down. It's very loud. It's fine. Your progression through this game is going to be very, very different to everybody else who plays it, because what you unlock is going to be completely different. Now, the camera angles are not all great for this one. I don't like bumper camera. I'd much prefer a bonnet camera, but it's either that or third person, and I struggle with third person on this game. It's... yeah, let's not crash into a Clio. I feel like this needs to be a little higher up. Well, maybe we'll drive for this. I don't know. As I said, Gran Turismo-y vibes immediately from all the UI and whatnot. I mean, this game, I feel a bit sorry for it. It came out fairly similar time to Gran Turismo 4, and this does a lot of things Gran Turismo doesn't, and does a lot of things really well. It just gets overshadowed by the game that everybody recognises the name of. It's a fantastic game. But yes, the car unlocking. Your progression through the game is going to be completely different to the way that I have done this playthrough. If I restarted a playthrough, it would be completely different, because I started racing with the Aristo Vertex, because that was the first car that I unlocked. So I did a bunch of races with that one. The first car I won, I think, after driving with the initial cars. You're going to win something different. I don't know what it might be. Depends on what the races are. Depends on what you stock first. The opening cars. Depends on what events you go in for, and what you get sort of like lucky-wise with the thing. And I really, really like that. I really like that as just a way to progress. Okay, I don't want every game to be like that. Sure, it does mean if you want a specific car, it's really awkward. We wanted a Saxo. It took bloody ages to get hold of a Saxo, just because, there wasn't always a race with one available, and if there was, didn't always get that car from the lucky dip bit. It took ages to get that vehicle. But as far as like a progression system goes for a game, it's different. These days we don't really see very much in the way of different when it comes to racing games in terms of unlocks and whatnot. So yeah, I absolutely love it. I'd love to see a modern version of this game. I think you could make something really, really good fun. As I say, it might not be quite for everyone's taste, and that's fair enough and all, but it does add an element of excitement and just, completely mixes up your playthrough, if you will. Driving physics-wise, it is really, really good. The faster cars, it does get a little bit difficult, although that's not helped by me having a bit of an iffy PS2 controller. However, when you start getting to faster cars, they are a little bit more difficult to drive. Oh dear, that was not where I need to bring a lot earlier for that one. It's a really good, solid handling model. I say comparable to Gran Turismo 4. It's definitely on that sort of style of driving. It is really, really good. Again, you've got to bear in mind the era of the game. It's not going to be, the crazy ultra, the height of realism, but for the age, it's pretty damn good. It's probably up there with some of the best, I say, sim games, if you will. Now, I've got to be a little bit careful, actually. So, not only is the driving physics fantastic, and you've got all sorts of information going on around the screen. I think the arrows are trying to tell me where it wants me to be in the racetrack, maybe? I don't really know. I'm not sure what the arrows are trying to tell. I don't think I've ever figured that one out. Are they trying to tell, like, G-force, maybe? Yeah, I think they are, actually. I've got a little dot down below at the wheel thing that's telling me... Oh, I was busy looking at UIs. Sorry, I was farting around trying to figure... Don't get distracted by the gauges and the stuff on the screen and not look where you're going. Stupid me. But... Oh, carefully does it. Yes, driving is good. There's lots of information going on around the screen. There's an invisible wall around that, you little bugger. I did not hit that, as far as I'm aware. But there we go. I got completely distracted. Yeah, you'll notice another bar. This is what I say about has to be careful. There is an in-few points. Basically, this is the game's warning system for driving like a plank. Basically, if you bump into cars, you drive off the circuit, you clonk walls, you start losing these, and you lose too many, you have to like sit out and let them recharge. I don't know what happens if you run out in the middle of a race. I've never actually got to that point. I think the last race I must have done before doing this, I must have had a terrible time because I've not got very many to work with. Really struggling to get slowed down. See what Salika's doing really bloody well. Salika's going really quickly. Oh, tangled a bit too soon. Through there. Come on, there we go. That's fine. I'm not off the circuit there, am I? I don't think so. So yeah, I've got to be a smidge careful. Now, as I said, you can recharge them. They recharge over time. You can also have a rest day. We'll have a look at the calendar thing. I've played this game for a good number of hours, and I'm still not 100% sure quite how it works. Basically, it's a little confusing at times. It's a little bit odd. Now, I've got to remember we are actually coming, oh god, off of the road there. that almost got me in a lot of trouble. And you'll see, I mean, even with this front-wheel drive car here, you'll see the back end will step out a little bit through the corners. You'll see the weight transfer going on in the vehicle. I do actually generally prefer the front-wheel drive cars in this game. I struggle to get on with the rear-wheel drive cars. I struggle to get any speed out of them. Now, I think that might partly be to do with having no traction. Well, you can put traction control, you can put assists on, but I don't have any. It's not easy to manage the throttle when you've got a button on a slightly iffy old controller. And these sort of lower powered front wheel drive cars, you can kind of just mash the throttle and go on the most part. Some of the higher powered rear wheel drive machines are quite a handful. Although, to be fair, the AI do seem to struggle with them from time to time as well. So you get some very, very weird results. And we might see some of them. I mean, to be fair, the Celica here is doing really, really well, and that was the car that was expected theoretically to be the slowest. I don't know what is languishing at the back. Something is. I don't actually know. We have a lead. I wouldn't say it was as comfortable as I would have liked it to be in this one. Oh, hate that corner. Hate that corner so much. That time at least we have got it stopped. No. We still dinked that wall through there. There is a slight bit of hitboxes are a little bigger than the actual wall graphic in a couple of places. A couple of places I've just turning in too soon and clonking it, and that's on me. The Integra is pretty good to drive. There isn't a way to look back, as far as I'm aware. Oh, that's why I used the bonnet view. I remember now. So there isn't a look back button, or at least there isn't one that I could figure out, that I could find. So I tend to run on this view just so I have a rear view mirror. If we were in a close battle. Not that it's, I say, needed at this particular moment. Oh, I'm actually really close to running out of a few points. I've got to be really careful now. Don't focus on that. Yeah, I'm going to have to be super careful now. I don't want to lose this race because of that. It's just grazing off of the walls that's getting me. Here we go. Carefully does it through here. I mean, there's a little bit of light contact against some of the cars. It's just not been the cleanest of race. Yeah, it's designed to promote, cleaner racing, everything. And that's fair enough. It's not the worst system. Oh god, it doesn't normally affect all that much. You must have had a bad previous race or something. I think we're coming up towards the finish line now, and this is going to be a victory. So there we go. We crossed the finish line in that race. A fun race, a good car to drive and everything. So we take victory. Now the odds. Oh, the Clio was terribly slow around here, unless it had a crash or something. The odds are an important thing to bear in mind here. So, as I said, I get quite a lot of points for coming first in this race. Despite the fact I was expected to have the fastest car, it was a terrible, don't pay any attention. That tells you where you crashed and everything. Let's not focus on that. So, we then go to, there's the screen for picking a car. So, because we've got the top four, it's going to randomly draw us one of their vehicles, or potentially nothing. We're going to win the Clio. Not that the Clio did very well. But this is how you unlock the cars, which is fun. You get all sorts of random stuff, and as I said, you'll get a completely different playthrough based on what you're going to win. So, Clio, a sporty Clio. Okay, not the most stunning. There wasn't the most exciting cars there to work with. We've leveled up our vehicle. This is the skill point select to level up your cars and so on. We lose some because we bumped into stuff, but we still gained more. Are we going to show the tuning level up? So we leveled up. We've got slightly more grip now in the vehicle. This is how it is. You can't buy upgrades. It's just done from driving the car, which again is different. It's fair enough. So this is the bit that kind of matters. We get 200 points for the round of the championship we're in. The odds then multiply that, and then I guess that's our total points, and that adds on to our overall total. In fact, this adds us up, so we got up the ranking a little bit because we gained some more points. But as you can see earlier, I'd been scoring huge amounts of points. So how do you do that? Well, the way we 21 in few points. I think we're going to have like a rest day because 174 is pushing it. Actually, if I swap cars, I think it will reset another day. So yeah, the odds of your vehicle winning are super, super important in this one. The odds are so very, very important because sometimes coming fourth, just scraping a fourth with a much slower car is better than winning with a quick car. And that's quite a fun way to play the game. That's why I love the Saxo, because in this game, the Saxo is ridiculous. The Saxo is very stupidly quick. And I mean, it's really stupidly quick. I say it's really stupidly quick. It's a fast car. The more important thing with it is that the game doesn't count it. It doesn't think it's a very fast car. Which means when we join a race, the odds of it being able to win are tiny. Okay, it's not going to... I say it's not going to be... It's beaten a Dodge Viper before. It's beaten all sorts of vehicles that it really, really shouldn't have done. What could we race against here? So it reckons my car is the one. There's nothing actually exciting to win here. So, for example, here you see if I win, 1,500 points. So we got 420 for the last one, which is not bad for winning with the fastest car. If we can win here, you get 1,500. We're not going to beat an RX-7. Might beat a Stratos, though. So, you know, you're looking at, okay, well, I can score a whole heap of points. We're not going to win at the high-speed battle. It's not worth having it. This is not going to happen. Not against this lot. Oh, that Gary is here. Long story. I can't pronounce the name when I played with it when it was in Gran Turismo 4, so I just called it the Gary. And it stuck. So that's the Gary. That's not the circuit to try this one on. That's the circuit we did just run around. A French car limited race could be kind of fun. What is this? So the Dragon Challenge. This could be entertaining. What are we up against? Yes, I want to go down a wibbly wobbly road for 700 points against a G500. Yes, I feel like I should win this by a country mile. Here, the greatest mountain pass battle ever to have happened. Saxo VTS versus a G-Wagon. Yes, I definitely want to do Saxo versus G-Wagon. If we don't win this, I'm going to be very disappointed. But again, this is the whole odds system at work, if you like. For some reason, it reckons the G-Wagon is the faster vehicle. Now, I know that G-Wagon is not going to be faster. Well, I say that. I'll be very surprised if the G-Wagon can live with this Saxo in the twisty bits. Admittedly, I haven't played this game for a little while. I may be a smidge rusty. G-Wagon's got a shift going on here. We're going to have a dive up there. This is when it turns out we have an amazing race that nobody ever expected. Certainly not me. There we go. We do get the lead. I'm going to go back to this view so I can see. We may need to at times do sneaky defending against the AI, a little bit of blocking. I will, I won't do that when I'm racing against human players, of course. Sometimes against the AI, if we're getting desperate, I might stoop to that level. So, I mean, you've also got, like, fun circuits. You've got plenty of real-world circuits. You've got some real-world circuits in here. I think Tsukuba and Nürburgring are the main ones. I now can't remember the track list. There's plenty of fictional tracks. They're all good circuits, and there's an off-road stage. There's these sort of point-to-point mountain pass roads. I think there's a snowy thing as well, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong on that one. Oh, panic and brake. Come on, little Saxo. Do not let that big Merc get the better of you. Now, I'm doing this race purely for the points. I'm not so fussed about winning the G-Wagon. I mean, I hope I get the car. As I said, it's a lucky dip as to what you draw at the end, and there's a chance you're not going to get the car. Not that I'd probably ever use the G-Wagon for anything. Regardless, it has got more top end than me, so we'll just put the Citroen... I mean, that wasn't even really blocking. This is blocking. That's definitely blocking there. Well, I mean, that one there was just a punt from the Merc. The AIs are not normally the best when it comes to overtaking. You can confuse them a little bit, which is how you can sometimes get some silly results. They can't overtake each other very well all the time either. That was not a great corner. But I mean, this Saxo on the right circuits, I've had it, as I said, I've had it beat a Viper, I've had it beat an EB110. It's done some ridiculous stuff. The Pantera it's beaten. I think I won the Pantera in a race that I was using the Saxo in. So you get these really, really wacky, fun outcomes. Oh, God. As I said, I really like the way that the career mode pans out in this. It wouldn't work for every single game, but it's a really, really fun way to progress. As I said, it gets a little bit confusing, and sometimes you can be earning a bunch of points and your ranking seems to plummet for no real reason, and then you kind of have to start climbing again. At times gets a little confusing. However, it is really, really well worth a play, well worth an explore, if you like. Can we chuck this through the hairpin? We can. Come on, little Saxo. We are starting to pull away. This is the section where the G-Wagon's always going to have a tough time at the end of the day. We've got tiny, lightweight, I say relatively high-powered car in the VTS here. And the G-Wagon, well, I mean, it has a lot more power than me, but you've got many tons of high-riding Mercedes trying to get up the mountain road. It has got a better fight than I thought it was going to. I already thought it was going to vanish off into the distance. from that, but apparently not. I guess it is all-wheel drive. Rear-wheel drive cars do seem to suffer more in this game than anything else. That's why I stick to the front-wheel drives and all-wheel drive vehicles, basically. It's kind of a little bit of a shame. If I played this game enough, I might eventually figure out how to drive those rear-wheel drive cars quickly. Although, as I said, the AIs do seem to struggle sometimes with them a little bit as well. We're almost out of the twisty bits, or the worst of the twisty bits. Grip in the Saxo. I mean, it is also a maxed out car. It is the car I've spent by far and away the most time driving. We are going to weave our way through these final couple of corners. Not the best final couple of corners by me there, I will admit. But we run up towards the finish line. We will take a victory. Sub 4 minute, no idea if that's good or not. But it's good enough for us to take the win here. And there we go, so we'll take those 700 points. Thank you very much. Wasn't too many bumps along the way either. There was a couple of little scrapes with the G-Wagon, but honestly not much. Which is good, so the Enthusia points will hopefully recover. Are we going to win a G-Wagon? Hey, we did. Not that I'm ever going to drive it, but we have got one now. I thought it had more power. I guess it's not the AMG version, of course, but I thought it might have more than 292 horsepower. No wonder it struggled a little bit. Around there. I say struggled a bit, but it did do fairly well. So, that one there, we get a bunch of tuning points. Not that it matters, because my car's max level, because we didn't bump into too much. Here's the ranking points. That's a nice 700 points for us. That will jump us up a little bit more in the ranking. The Enthusia points are basically recharged, because we only lost a couple, and we gained so much at the end of each race. And that's kind of how you progress through the game. You keep going, you keep trying to get cars. You keep trying to get. See, I always look for something fun that we can go and win. What's that race? Pacific Challenge. 3 laps, 6 cars. I'm not expected. Oh, okay. You know what? We're going to finish off with this. I haven't got any of these vehicles. Ooh, there's a Vanquish in this one that I'd very much like. Ah, and I know this circuit. This circuit, there's a cheeky chicane. Okay. Now, 4th, we should be able to get no problem. We'll beat the Mazda. We should be able to beat the Seville. We should be able to beat the Forester. So, 3rd, really, we should be able to do. The GTA, I don't know. That's going to be quick. I can't imagine we'll beat the Vanquish, but I've got to try. I feel like it would be remiss of me not to try and beat a Vanquish. This could be another one for the Saxo's unlikely ridiculous victories. Now, if there is a circuit, this is maybe the track that I can do it at as well, for 2 reasons. One, I quite like it, but mostly because there's a chicane that I can be very aggressive with, and, well, the AI won't be, shall we say. So we're going to have to do a little bit, we're going to have to do a lot of blocking if we're going to do this. I say a lot of blocking, potentially. This is the chicane, although we are going in the reverse direction to how I'd like to be driving this circuit. So we don't quite get the same speed through there that we do when you head the other way around this track. I think every track's reversible, including Tsukuba. I don't know if Nürburgring is. I can't say I've seen it. Now, what could really help me in terms of winning this race is not getting lost. Oh, like that. That's bad. That's really bad. Yeah, what could help me is if the Vanquish gets stuck in traffic. So, as I said, the AIs are not always the best at overtaking the player or each other. They can sometimes get really ensnared in traffic, and that would help me out, because the grids are always reverse of speed, or reverse of expected speed, essentially. The grid works in the odds. I see a Vanquish behind me already, and I don't know this track, this direction very well. Here it comes. We're just going to put a Saxo in the way. Let's see if it can try and figure out a way around the outside. It might not matter if I balls up this corner too much. Where has it gone? It's on the outside somewhere. Oh, yep, still on the outside. We gave it a little bit of a hello clonk. Oh, no, it's not. We're just going to get slaughtered, because there is a straight coming up here. I mean, okay, so it lifted. Why did it lift so much there? That I'm not quite sure about. Now, this is another chicane that we can do a little bit of silly buggers with, but I don't know from this direction quite how well. I'm not really caring too much about the points at the moment. I'm not going to bother about them. If we have to jump the circuit a little bit to try and beat them, we're cheating, okay? I'm not going to lie here. We are basically cheating to try and beat a Vanquish here. Oh, that's a flying Aston. Oh, it hit the wall, I think. I think it might have got caught on the wall somewhere. Oh, it's bloody wall hitboxes. I swear I was miles clear of that one, but nope. We will move across in front of the Vanquish. I mean, we are... Okay, so we're well clear of the rest of the field. The Alfa Romeo doesn't stand a chance here. That's good. The Aston Martin's got all the speed, but didn't really do anything with it there. Oh, that's not how to take that corner. Oh, for God's sake. I wish I knew this layout better. Nope, okay. If it had been the other way around this circuit, the actual layout that I know would have been so nice. Now it's through. Now it's gone into the distance. Ah, I'm a fool. I'm a massive fool. Oh, and I'm doing that again because I'm still driving like the other version of the track. Ugh. Okay, sorted out. Sorted out. Whoa! Front wheel drive oversteer from the Saxo. It's quite extreme. Yeah, bucket and blast and all that. Where are we going? Down this way. Where is that 147? I've got to keep an eye on it a little bit. I think I can probably beat that car without really cheating, I would expect. Whoop! It's great fun. I love this car to drive. It is amazing fun just to throw it around. It is surprisingly oversteery. It's very oversteery, actually. Oh, there we go. For a front wheel drive. It's just it's a great car in here. Fantastic car. And because of the way, as I said, because of the way the odds systems work, you can play a lot of the game with this car if you want. Most of the progress I've done in this game has come directly because of the Saxo, not from anything else, not from the Evos or the Vertex or any of those cars. Oh, okay, I tried to be cheeky. Probably shouldn't have done. Not quite got that one. Yeah, trying to not knowing a circuit and trying to hold behind Vanquish is probably a dangerous idea. But yeah, the game's fantastic. It's a really, really interesting way of doing a career mode. It's nice to have something different. Well, admittedly, I'm much older now, but I think I know maybe what I'm doing. I think that where I'm expecting the corners of the... It might not be the hitbox of the wall, it might be the way the camera's mounted at the front here. That might be what's doing it. Possibly. Not sure which way, but it's a little difficult, basically, sometimes, judging with this. Okay. Let's be slow at that. That works for me. That's one way to do it. That's one way to do it, shall we say. Yeah. Unfortunately, we're going to have a little bit of a quieter final lap around here. Now, this time I've noticed the bloody corner markers going on up in the sky. Helped me out a little bit. I think we have to do this race, and then I think this race maybe unlocks the next area, possibly, because it was a specific challenge rather than something. Or this is one I haven't seen pop up for a while. I could be wrong. Either way, yes, really rather excellent game. If you can find a copy of it, I highly, highly recommend it, because there is a good chance you're watching this, looking at it, thinking it looks a bit like Gran Turismo, and that's about it. That's probably all you might know about it. It is a really, really overlooked game. A very, very well made game. Oh, God, very good fun. Oh, racing game. It is still great to drive on. I mean, driving-wise, it holds up incredibly well. As I said, I struggle with the rear-wheel drive cars. That's probably a lot down to me. A, not being used to PS2 controller very much, and, you have traction control turned off and a button for power when you got 400 or 500 horsepower, it's not the best. But yes, I have generally struggled with them a little bit more. But, oh, there goes the back end. I've lost the back end of the Saxo in a really, really bad place. That's not what we needed whatsoever. We may have to be a little sneaky against the Alfa Romeo here. We just completely lost the back end trying to get up the hill. Yeah, if you get a little too carried away with the front-wheel drive cars, you can get into all sorts of trouble. Here comes the Alfa Romeo to the outside. It's not even the Alfa Romeo. I'm not sure what it is. We've got to try and defend again. What is that? Is that a Seville? I don't know. It's something, though. It's having a look. We're going to battle our way through these final couple of corners. We are going to do the business. We are going to get second, at least, which is what we needed. We will claim a second. Could have and should have been well, it shouldn't have been. Could have had I been much better and cleverer, maybe. What's a Seville? What happened to the Alpha? Why was the Alpha so slow? That's weird. Okay, I made a complete mess of the final lap, but, huh. There we go. Let's see if we win anything interesting. Yeah, didn't go great for me. Didn't go great for me at all. Let us just back out of this one. Come on, please win the Vanquish. Please win the Vanquish. No. You mean game. You very mean game. Sometimes you get no cars unlocked. Oh, I thought for a second we were getting the Vanquish. I didn't want to say anything, because I didn't know. But there we go. We still get 852 points. That is at least something. It's quite nice. Quite a nice amount of points. And that's, yeah, how you progress through the game. Very, very cool. Very, very cool game. I really, really enjoy this one. As I said, highly recommend. Much forgotten about. Much, maybe you never even heard of it when it was out, when it was new, etc. And I think a much underappreciated game. I really do recommend you give it a look. If you can find a copy of it somewhere, we've got an old PS2 lying around, because it is really rather excellent. That, though, is going to be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.